Hi. Welcome to Grant Math. We're doing Chapter 6, Lesson 2, but we're breaking Lesson 2 up into multiple parts. We started off by just talking about, having an exponential graph and plotting a table of values. And then yesterday we did domain and range. And today I'm going to talk about the y-intercept, the ratio, domain range, and asymptotes. So it's kind of like a combo. The first day I did talk about y-intercepts and asymptotes. So, refresh. This is the format of a graph that looks like this. Up. This is growth. Or this. This is decay. So, the first number is, the book calls it the initial amount, but I call it the y-intercept. B is the ratio. That means what are we multiplying y by? How is y changing? And that's what we did on the first day when I gave you, table of the values. And I said, how is it changing? What are we multiplying by? The exponent is what we plug in. We usually would, have a table of values and plug values in. All right. All right. What does the 3 represent in front here? What's the 3? The number right after the equal sign. What's that called? The y-intercept. What does the 4 represent? Look up above. The number that's the base of the exponent. It's the ratio, and it also, because it's a 4, ratio, this would mean that I'm quadrupling, because 4 means quadruple, like quadrupling my numbers. All right, number 2. What's the 1/2 mean? Y-intercept. What's the 2 mean? Ratio. And a 2 is a double. So the numbers are doubling every time. All right, number 3 and 4. So my key features are going to be domain, range, which is what we did all yesterday. Asymptote. Now, asymptote, the line that it gets super close to, but it never touches, and the y-intercept. The domain. These lines should have arrows on each side. Please draw them. Okay. Domain, left to right. Where does my line appear? It's going to go forever negative, so that would be here, negative infinity. Yes, 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 yes. And it goes out up to the right, but that's going to eventually hit positive infinity way over here. All real numbers. Negative infinity, positive infinity. The range. The range is low to high. So, you guys, it only starts after 0. There's nothing down here in the negatives. Let me do my ruler. There's nothing in the negatives. So it approaches 0, but it never touches. Parentheses, because it never touches 0, and then up. The highest it goes is positive infinity. My asymptote is that line that it never touches? Y equals 0. My y-intercept, 0, 1. My y, I'm sorry, let me have you write that. I don't want to go too fast. Okay, notice how my y-intercept is right here. And then the asymptote is one box below it. So if the y-intercept is a 1, my asymptote is going to be just one below it, the 0. Because it will go underneath 1, but it will never touch 0. So those numbers are related because my y-intercept is at 1, and then the line is going to get really close to 0, but never touch it. So this dotted blue line, that's my asymptote. Question?
So if the y-intercept was 0, 2, would the asymptote be y equals 1?
Yep. If the y-intercept was 2, my asymptote would be 1. Domain, range, asymptote, y-intercept. Okay. This is going to have, arrows going both ways. It should. Domain, all real numbers. Negative infinity, positive infinity, or an R. Range, it gets super close to 0 but never touches, and it goes up to infinity. Asymptote. If my y-intercept is at 1, what's my asymptote? 0. And it's a horizontal line. Okay. All right. Any questions on 1 through 4? Yeah.
Is the asymptote is it always going to be 0?
No. If I shift up my graph, it would be a different number. But for the first few, for us, it's going to be 0. All right. Okay, 5. This is an arrow, by the way. Domain. You guys, this graph literally has an end point. I'm going to call it just like 1. My y-intercept is going to be 1. I know it's really hard to see because it's so... But my y-intercept is going to be 1. It's really hard to tell, but it is. My horizontal asymptote is going to be 0. Then, let's be careful on our domain. My domain in this graph does not hit the negatives. My domain is a bracket at 0 because it touches 0, and then it goes to positive to the right forever. Up, up, right, 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 up, right. My range is low to high. So, low to high means that, parentheses 0 to infinity. Number 6. Domain, left to right. It starts at 0, and then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, positive infinity. It touches 0, so I'm going to put 0, infinity. Range, low to high. This actually has an asymptote. It's right here. It's not 0 for the first time. What box is in between 0 and 20? 10. So my range is going to be 10. It never touches 10. And it only goes to 80. But it touches 80. Weird. Parentheses 10, comma 80 bracket. Because it doesn't touch 10. It gets really close. That's the asymptote. And then it stops at 80 up there. Horizontal asymptote is at 10. And the y-intercept is what? It's a dark circle. What's it at? My y-intercept. 80. 0, 80. Seven doesn't have a graph. Y equals 1 times 4 to the x. Okay? 1 times 4 to the x is going to be my y-intercept is 1. If my y-intercept is 1, my asymptote is 1 box under it. That's the 0. That's by default. Okay? My domain and range, I don't even have to see what this looks like, but it's going to be, my range is going to be 0, infinity, like always, standard. And my domain is going to be all real numbers. The range and the asymptote are related because they're both of that. What's the lowest point to go? 0. The range and the asymptote are related. Here it was 10 and 10. See how my range and my asymptote were related? Number 8. Let's start with my y-intercept on number 8. What's my y-intercept on number 8? 0, 2. It's this, y-intercept. Asymptote, 1 underneath 2. 1 box under 2. Y equals 1. If my asymptote is at 1, that's where my range starts. 1 comma infinity. Domain, all real numbers. Yes, sir.
So the asymptote is always 1 box under the y-intercept?
Correct. Because if this is my y-intercept, 2, then I'm going to have a line that's, dangerously close but never touches. And that's going to be my asymptote right here. Okay? Yeah.
So when you start, you're saying that when the range starts, the first number in the range is
The asymptote. Yes. All right. There's 3 that you haven't done.
What are the numbers?
I know. I'm going to draw for you. Please copy these drawings down. This starts homework. Your homework is the front side and the back side. Yeah, but I'm going to draw the...
Oh, alright. I live on.
All right, I'll make them totally different so you guys can get used to different asymptotes and... Can you copy these down, please?
my cellar water works. They just take off half my eyelash.
Okay, all right, copy those three down. You are doing domain, range, asymptote.
What if it's grand? What's the last one at? Negative.
It's at -4. Okay. Yes, ma'am. -4. All right, I'm going to stop the video. The back side is 4 more problems where you have to identify the key features.